his breeding program, he looked around, and as he was is still close friend to Osama Al-Qasimi, he finally decided to buy some of his great horses, as he believed that this might be a very good start for his breeding program. After long negotiation, then he finally was able to purchase Najma Ezain, who is now here in the lead, followed behind this fleshy dark Tetua Ezain's daughter Nadira Al-Maale, who is out of Najma Ezain, so the mother in the lead, followed by her daughter by Tetua Ezain. And then this charming flashy gray, this is Radwa Ezain by Yasub Ezain and Najma Ezain. So we have number 1 with 2 daughters. Number 4 in your leaflet will be shown later, as she has a small baby just born yesterday. So she will come at the end of the presentation. And you have then on the 4th position, 1, 2, 3, 4th position, not number 4 but number 5 in your brochure, and this is Manar Al-Ward. She's by Nureddin Ezain out of Afra Ezain, followed by Ajmal Shahad, daughter of Ajmal Talal and Shahad Al-Rayyan. This is the mare which is just here now in front of me. Wasifa you will see later, as she also has a nice foal at side. And last but not least is marching Molesta Al-Amin. She is a daughter of Arif Al-Khalid and Molesta. A fine group of broodmares descending from the Dahman Shawan strain, the Bint Bukra family. The first ones going back through the Bukra family via Ansata Rosetta. Wasifa El Kuwait, who you will see later, is representing the Halima family. You will see now some of them turning loose in the arena. This was just this first round to give you an impression of the representatives of the Dahman Shawan strain. A very fine selected group of broodmares, and you will see later some of their produce. We will show you first mares, the treasures of the stable, of the barn, the breeding barn, and later their fillies and colts. This is the structure of this presentation. And we go to start with Najma Ezain. She is the daughter of Surur Ezain, who for many years was the chief sire at Ezain Stud of Osama Al-Qasimi. Maybe he's watching us through Arabian Essence live stream. If so, we send him our kindest regards. He's right now in London. Hope he's doing well and enjoys the presentation of some horses descending from his breeding program. He made it possible that Khalid Al-Enezi had a great start. In his short breeding career of just only 10 years, he already produced some outstanding stock, among them championship fillies. They won championship titles here in Kuwait as also abroad. And here we have one of his treasures in the broodmare barn. Najma is out of NK Jasmine. As you all know, Osama Al-Qasimi built up his breeding program mainly on Dr. Nagel's Katharinenhof Stud program. And then, of course, also Khalid Al-Enezi's is influenced from this direction. In the meantime, Osama has created his own type. It's the Azane type. And several breeders, whether this is Salal Turkit or Khaled Al-Enezi, they benefit from this treasure. Najma Azane, a ground covering movement with her. A great presence, a lot of stamina, and produced extremely well. The next to come is her daughter. She has already been added to the broodmare group. She's by Tetua Azane, a black stallion, very exquisite in type, owned by Osama, bred and owned by Osama Al-Qasimi. And this stallion is truly doing a great job. It's not so easy to be able to use this stallion, as Osama keeps stallions mainly for himself, but if you know the key to his heart, then you might have a good chance. Yes. So I got mistaken, this is not number 2, we are now with number 5, Manar Al-Ward, Nureddin Azane out of Afra Azane. So it's number 5 in your document. See how this mare can move. She's truly flying through this arena. The paddock is just too small for her. Just 3/4 strides and she reaches the other corner. Tail raised like a flag and off she goes. She's in full tune. She's in foal to Alami Al-Maale, a son of Tetua Azane out of Al-Maale Azane. You have seen probably several of the produce of Alami Al-Maale during our last show. He's doing a great job as a sire, although he's still young. His first offspring already achieved great successes in the show ring and are very much asked. Where did you get this one? Come with me. And the next with us is number 8 in your brochure, and this is Molesta Alamin. She's a daughter of Arif Al-Khalid from Al-Khalid stud in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And her dam is Molesta, and this goes back to famous lines in straight Egyptian Arabian horse breeding from Germany. Of course, Morfa in the back. All the treasures come from El Zahra, the Egyptian agricultural organization. Not too much. I think she slipped. So now a little bit lame, but you have seen this ground covering movement. She's truly an eye catcher. Just has been added to the broodmare group of Khaled Al-Enezi. A very fine pedigree, strong genetic potential, and a lovely mare with a lot of charisma, charming expression, and a ground-covering movement. Rihanna still with Tom Owen. Yeah. You ready? Two. We got still some very nice photos. Still good job. The next with us, ladies and gentlemen, is number 3 in your brochure. Among the Dachman Shawan group of broodmares, and this is Radwa Ezein. She's by Yasup Ezein. Yasup is out of Nada, NK Nada. And the dam of Radwa is Najma Ezein. Radwa is the dam of Rayana Al Maale, a champion mare multiple times, was shown to success here in Kuwait, became gold champion as a youngster, later made her move to Europe, where she is now with Tom Oben. He showed her to great success. She was presented at the Straight Egyptian World Championships in Milano. Against strong competition, she achieved bronze champion medal. We have the pleasure to have Mrs. Barbara Maale here with us, the organizer of the Straight Egyptian World Championships and organizer of many equestrian events. The show was just amazing. Many of our friends from Kuwait attended the Egyptian Event World Championship, not only with horses, but also just as visitors. And straight Egyptians from Kuwait Arabian horse breeding did very well during these championships. We achieved several crowns, where gold champion titles as well as silver and bronze. And Rayana was truly an eye-catcher and captured the heart of everybody who saw her there. She has now been bred for the first time to Nasim Al-Rashidiyah, who seems to do a great job as a sire. But all the quality and type has to come from somewhere, and the dam is with us, Radwa Ezein, dam of Rayana Al Maale. And we will now go to the next column of your leaflets on the first page and show you some nice representatives of the Obayan Omjeri strain, El Shabah, Mona Inchas through Hanan. And number 4 in the group is representing the Koailan Rodan, Riala family. But here in the lead, this is number 1, Andorra bint Asfura, with a colt by Alami Al Maale. You will see the stallion later on. And then now with me here, Umilali Ezein by NK Kaswara out of Azhar Ezein. And then we have Ezein Al Maale by Ajmal Suhail out of Umilali Ezein, so mother with her daughter. And then last but not least, we have El Tai Manal, who is a daughter of Ajmal Tamin and Eltai Malaka by Eltai Mashur. She is representing the Quailan Rodan Ajus, the Riala family. So Andorra just here with me, and then her boy by Alami Al-Maali. Then Omelali Ezain, NK Kaswara and Azhar Ezain. In the third position then Ezain Al-Maali by Ajmal Suhail and Omelali Ezain. So mother with one of her produce, and then last but not least Eltai Manan. And we will show some of them Liberty for you. Is the boy from Andorra. The first to be shown Liberty is a boy out of Andorra bint Asfura and Alamia Al-Amali. Andorra bint Asfura is by Adnan out of Asfura, one of the precious mares of Dr. Nagel's breeding program. Andorra was bred by Annette Headley, finally made her way from the UK to Dr. Nagel and then onwards to Kuwait, and residing now here in the fine stables of Khaled Al-Enezi. This boy is just a couple of weeks old. His sire Alami Al-Maali by Tetua Ezain and Omilali Ezain. Gorgeous stallion with an extreme type and seems to produce extraordinary. And look how this boy can move. Very showy, definitely promising. Khaled will take an eye on him and watch his development carefully. Now in the arena, a true highlight of the presentation. This is Omelali Ezain, daughter of NK Kaswara. We lost him much too early. NK Kaswara no longer with us. He was the chief sire at Ezain Stud and truly stemmed Osama Al-Qasimi's breeding program. The dam of Omelali Ezain is Azhar Ezain. So she is representing the Hanan family. Hanan, one of the most influential mares in straight Egyptian Arabian horse breeding worldwide. was imported by Dr. Nagel in the 70s, in the 60s from El Zahra. She first had to make her move to Hungary as direct import from Egypt to Germany was not possible. And she became really a stallion producer, but also gave Dr. Nagel a spectacular group of broodmares. She truly has a worldwide influence. All over the Gulf, you will find horses which are descending from this precious mare. Maale Yazain showing herself with pride, has a lot of exotic expression, charm and charisma, and this all is combined with a solid conformation. Truly an eye-catcher. She looks good, huh? Yeah, she looks good now. Yes, yes. Now she's again in full. Mashallah. Here we go with number 4 in this group, and this is El Tai Manal. She is by Ajmal Tamin, all of El Tai Malika. Last year, she produced a spectacular foal by Alamia Al Maale, beautiful filly. Maybe you'll see her later on. She's again in foal to this spectacular young stallion. She was bred by Cornelia Tauschke El Taiba stud. It was a tough decision to let her go, but finally she made her way to Kuwait and represents in a very fine way the strong genetic potential of the Kohailan Rodan Riala family. Her dam, El Tai Malaka, is a daughter of El Tai Mashur, out of El Tai Mafusa, Mafusa the dam of El Tai Mafus. Ajmal Tamin needs no introduction. He is a chief sire at Mohammed's Ajmal Arabian stud. He was on lease to El Taiba stud for some time, returned back home, had left some outstanding stock, including a very nice son by him at El Taiba stud, and in the meantime produced remarkable at Ajmal Arabian stud. And she still understands German. Her last year's filly by Alami Al Maale will be shown in a bit. She's now again in foal. Good one.
Bad show.
What to do? So, Nadira. And then Nur is okay. The next group which is now with us is descending from the Hatman and Zahi strain, going back to Kamla family. The Hatman and Zahi Kamla, not the Farida Halima Kamla through Moheba. And we also have one going back to Malikat Al-Jamal. In the lead you have NK bint Nadira. She is the daughter of Lutfi out of NK Nadira. And she is followed by Nur Alward, who is the daughter of Nuruddin Zain, and NK Nakabiya. Nakabiya, one of the best producing mares here in Kuwait. Truly a treasure. And whoever is able to purchase something out of her is truly blessed. Then number 3, the third position, we have Ezain Al-Ward by Dahes and Safiya Ezain. And then on the 4th and last position, we have NK Nunu, a daughter of NK Nadir out of NK Bint Nashwa. Number 5, Nafisa Asail, you will see later. She just had a colt and will be shown together with the boy. So in the lead, NK Bint Nadira, followed by Nur Alward, then Ezain Alward. Last but not least, NK Nunu. And some of them will be shown Liberty. And here she goes, NK Bint Nadira. Her sire Lutfi resided in South Africa. And I think now he is back. He is, I think he's now in Kuwait. So there's a little mistake in this leaflet. It's the father is not Lutfi, but NK Latif. And of course, NK Bint Nadira is out of NK Nadira, one of the precious mares of Dr. Nagel's Hatban and Zahi Kamla family, for which his farm became as much well known as he is known because of his Hanan family. These two mares, Hanan as well as Lutfiya, truly made his farm and his breeding program. They have a huge influence. Maybe in these days, Lutfiya is even stronger in terms of number of horses in Dr. Nagel's place. And both Hanan as well as Lutfiya truly made a huge impact, not only at his breeding program, but also worldwide. You find a lot of this precious Kamla family of the Hatman and Zahi strain here in Kuwait. And NK Bint Nadira is just one of them, and truly an eye-catcher. Look how she is dancing around. Loves to be shown. A very classic and typey young mare. The next to be shown is number 2 in your brochure in the column of the Hatban and Zahis. Her name is Noor Al-Warde by Noureddin Hussain out of NK Nakabia. Khaled Al-Anesi values NK Nakabila very highly and is fortunate that he has some of this family here in his place, and all of them do extremely well for his breeding program. Noor Al-Ward is one of the latest additions, was bred by Mr. Salah Al-Terkit, Al-Ward stud. Her sire Noureddin Hussain is doing a great job for Al-Ward, as well as other breeders who had the chance to use him. A fine stallion with gorgeous type and expression. And then we have the elegance, the harmony. The classic type through the dam NK Nakabia. In a very fine way representing the Kamla family of the Hatban and Zahi strain. This is Hussain or what? And now we have with us number 3 under the column of the Hatban and Zahis. It's Hussain Al-Ward by Dahes Al-Rayyan, the chief sire of Mubarakstad, Mr. Mohammed Al-Mubaraki. This Dahes Al-Rayyan is doing an amazing job here in Kuwait. Many of his produce do extremely well in the show ring, as well as for the breeding programs of their owners. He is a son of Ansata Selman, has an amazing, strong genetic potential, and is a great sire. The dam of Hussain Al-Ward is Safiya Hussain, one of the precious mares of Osama Al-Qasimi. And this was really a good combination. Look how she loves to present herself. A lot of dominating presence. She has a gorgeous eye just now here in front of me. Really beautiful. Round and dark. We truly have to watch out for this. In these days we see so many horses with eyes with a lot of white. Not to be seen here. This is really a huge black round, apple round eye. It pops out. She has a lot of width between the eyes. And look at this movement. Stunning. Flips the tail and off she goes. Ground covering, amazing long strides. Just 3-4 steps and she reaches the other corner. Great personality, lovely man. And here comes the Black Diamond of Al Maale stud, NK Nunu, entered the arena. Daughter of NK Nadir, chief sire Dr. Nagel's Katharinenhof stud. A great sire, produced a lot of stunning broodmares. And she's out of NK Bint Nashwa. Whoever has seen Nashwa will never forget her. One of the most exotic and extreme type mares. And she produced absolutely stunning. NK Nunu represents this precious blood, a true eye-catcher, not only when she is shown liberty, but she also has this most charming feminine expression. You look at her and you immediately fall in love with her. When Dr. Nagel celebrated last year his 50th anniversary of the farm, NK Nunu was shown. A group of Kuwaiti breeders already visited the farm a day earlier. They wanted to see the treasures. Khaled Al-Enezi couldn't take his eyes away from NK Nunu. Dr. Nagel was first not really willing to let her go, but finally he decided that she would have a lovely place here in Kuwait, where already so many of stars of his breeding program are living. And you can see she's very much loved here at the place by the team of Khaled Al-Enezi. And Dr. Nagel is visiting her occasionally. And she's valued here as a treasure for Al Maale stud. NK Nunu, thank you. Number 5, this Nafisa Sile, will be shown later as she has a small foal at her side. She represents also the Hadban and Zahi strain, going back to Malikat Al-Jamal. So now you have seen a very fine group of active broodmares, the basement of the breeding program of Khaled Al-Enezi, and he will now show us some of their produce. You can expect some very fine fillies, flashy colts, and then last but not Wasifa.
Yes.
Not white, not Asha. Wasifa is called Asha. Yes, it's okay.
بعدين نون منى.
Yes.
بعدين مش انكي لكن نسرين.
Yes.
اوكي. and شمة.
And she's by
جمال الدين. and أجمل شهد. The last one. No, this one. باحث. نعم.
Now we have a fine group of fillies for you. As said, first you saw the broodmares and now their produce. And we have in the lead, now I have to find out where's the lead. This number 1 is now reaching this corner. This is number 1, and this is Amira Al Maale. She is by Alami Al Maale and Ajmal Ibtihaj. Ajmal Ibtihaj is a full sister to Ajmal Juman, one of the very fine stallions here in Kuwait. Ajmal Ibtihaj is a daughter of Adnan out of Ali Jamila by Rumina Ja'ali. And then we have behind her, now we have them in the right order. This is number 1 here. And then number 2 is Wajd Al-Maali, she's by Alamir Al-Maali, and Wasifa El-Kuwait, who is by Ajmal Ashal and Bint Wafa El-Kuwait. Amira Al-Maali here just now next to me. Wajd Al-Maali coming now, daughter of Wasifa El-Kuwait and Al-Amir Al-Maali. Number 3 now here with me, Mona Al-Maali, one of the youngsters. She is by Al-Amir out of El-Tai Manal. You have seen the Kohailan mare before. And then we have Nasreen Al-Maali, the little one, and again a little bit bigger one. This is Shama Al-Maali. So Shama is here with me just now. And the last one, so number 1, 2, 3, 4 is Namma Al-Maali by Dahes Al-Rayyan. And the last one is Shama Al-Maali by Jamal Eldin. Showing off liberty, this is Wajd Al-Maali. She was also shown during our first Breeders' Cup Straight Egyptians on the first day when we had all the yearlings coming in. A very exotic looking filly with a gorgeous head, very chiseled. Nicely shaped upright neck. Lots of showy attitude. Very proud about herself. When we sold her mother at one of our auctions of the Arabian Horse Center, there was a deal between us, but it was not written on paper that one filly has to go back. For some reason, nobody remembers this extra condition. And since 1 year, I keep nagging that this filly has to go back to Beit Al Arab, but somehow I have no success.
Now you are finished. I said to Germany.
Good idea. Truly a lovely filly. Wajd Al-Maali. Truly charismatic. Was very much loved by the audience during our show. The next to come is Mona Al-Maali. She is by Alami Al-Maali and El-Tai Manal. We have seen Manal before in the second group of broodmares being shown She was the last in that group. Bred by El Taiba Stud, daughter of Ajmal Tamim and El Tai Malaka. And this is her first filly. The mare is in fold again to Alamia Al Maale. Her first foal here in Kuwait. She had a boy before by Ansat Nile Echo in Germany. A fine filly, just a couple of months old, has recently been weaned. And Khaled is now hoping for something similar in quality. This falling season he is blessed with a lot of colts. Can only get better. So he hopes for another filly of similar quality. Thank you. Champion breeder. And here we have M. Nahma. She is by Dahes Al Rayyan. Is M. Najla. M. Najla, one of the spectacular broodmares of Mr. Mohammed Baraki. Was awarded several times. Champion, highly ranked. Known for her gorgeous type, and the combination with Dahes Al Rayyan seemed to be like a golden match. And look at her. She's truly a very fine representative of Mohammed Baraki's Mubarak Arabian stud. He started his breeding program in Egypt as he had some business to do first there in Egypt, and then step by step, when he had purchased his new facilities in Wafra, he took his time to set up beautiful facilities which give spectacular home not only for horses but also for himself and his family. And then he moved his horses from Egypt to Kuwait, added some more carefully selected mares, and now he is one of the finest breeding programs all over the Gulf. Dahes Al Rayyan, his chief sire, son of Ansata Selman, out of Dana Al Rayyan. A very fine stallion who produced so far a lot of fillies and colts who later made their way either to breeding barns of other stables or in the show ring. And now Khaled Al-Anizi is presenting to you some of his fine colts. Just here. In the group of the Obayan Omjeris mares. Then the one in the middle, this is Fahad Al Maale by Ajmal Suhail. You will see the stallion later in the presentation of all the big boys. And the dam of Fahad is Al Bahia Ezain. And then we have, last but not least, Jamil Al Maale, who is by Jenan Al Nakib and Al Amir Al Maale. And the mother is by Al Amir Al Maale. Who is the mother of Jamil?
Jamil Jinan Nabi. His father Amir.
Who's the father and who's the mother?
Amir, his father. Jinan Nabi.
Showing off liberty, this is Fahad Al Maale by Ajmal Suhail out of Al Bahia Ezain. Still a youngster with just about 1 year and 6 months of age. A good sized colt. Good body structure. Fine type and a lot of presence. Likes to be shown and is happy to be presented here in front of you. Hope you like him. Thank you. attend his Nobel Festival in August this year. The baby was born just last night,
حول الأمير.
and he is by Al-Amir, as are the other boys. So all three are by Al-Amir Al-Maale. The second mare, the tall, long-legged one, is number 5 among the Hatban and Zahis. It's Nafisa Asail. She goes back to Malikat Al-Jamal family. And the last mare, with also just a young baby, just recently born, a day old,
خلي يشوفون الجمهور مو بالنص بيدي.
again also by Al-Maya Al-Maali. And her name is Wasifa El Kuwait, and Wasifa is by Ajmal Ashal and Bint Wafa El Kuwait, who is Adnan and Wafa El Kuwait. Wafa El Kuwait, a full sister to Ansata Nile Echo. You saw already a filly out of Wasifa El Kuwait before, a full sister to this little boy. She was among the group of the fillies. Had also participated at the Breeders' Cup Straight Egyptians. So these are the youngsters, all of them by Al-Amir Al-Maali. One born just last night, the other one just here, recently born. The one in the middle, 1 day old only. Khaled Al-Inesi is blessed with colts this season. He takes it with a sense of humor what to do.
وقف وقف.
Wasifa just now here taking the shortcut.
ودي من هناك شوية كذا بدون ما تلف. وقف شوية. وقف قدام الناس.
So in the lead, NK Hind, Jamal Eldin out of Hilala.
اطلع.
Hilala, one of the most precious mares of Dr. Nagel's Katharinenhof program, representing the Ansata bin Bukra family, marching out with her last night born baby,
خالد. خالد.
just a couple of hours old.
وقف شوية. وقف شوية.
Then Nefisa Asail marching out, descending from the Malikat Al-Jamal family.
اوكي. يلا. يلا يا خالد اطلع. يلا. اطلع.
And last but not least, Wasifa leaves the arena, representing the Falima Nile family.
ايوه. مشي مشي مشي.
A very fine mare bred by Khaled Ngemshi, Asail Arabian stud. He runs breeding programs for Arabian show horses as well as for straight Egyptian Arabians. The sire of Nafisa Asail is Sanafi Asail, and the dam Nafisa Iknatun.
اوكي. اوكي.
Ignatun stud, a famous farm in Egypt, known for having some outstanding stock.
اوكي.
Khaled Ngemshi has a farm in Egypt as well as, of course, in Kuwait, traveling back and forth. And owns and breeds lovely horses. Thank you. This was Nafisa Asail leaving the arena with her promising boy. Maybe he will mature to a promising, nice stallion. There is not much around from the Malikat Al-Jamal family. I think late Dr. Nasser Marai has a few. Al-Shakab maybe. But otherwise it's just a limited number, and we have to watch out to not lose. And now we are ready to welcome the big boys of Al-Maale Stud. And the first now with you, this is Ajmal Suhail. He is the son of Ansata Hijazi out of Ansata Serkit. Serkit is the daughter of Ansata Imhotep. There's a full brother to Ajmal Suhail, still residing at Ajmal Arabian Stud. His name is Ajmal Sanad, who is doing a great job there at Ajmal Arabian Stud, although his chance to be used is, of course, in a way limited, as there is already Ansata Hijazi sons and grandsons available, plus a lot of mares are carrying the same blood. Nevertheless, he is used with some selected mares and seems to do a good job. Ajmal Suhail, probably a little bit taller. His dam, Ansata Serkit, was originally co-owned by Ansata Arabian Stud and Mrs. Claudia Quentin from Argentina. She later decided to change her breeding program and be more interested in endurance horses. Finally, she decided to let Ansata Serkit go. At this time, she was residing at Dr. Nagel's Katharinenhof Stud. She was there for breeding purposes. Mohammed Marzouk, on one of his many visits he paid to Dr. Nagel's Katharinenhof, fell in love with the mare, and when he heard that she would be for sale, he right away took the chance, imported her to Kuwait, and she became a cornerstone of his breeding program. There is a daughter of Serkit and a full sister to Sanad as well as Suhail, also in Al-Wab Stud. A full sister also still residing at Ajmal Arabian Stud. And Suhail seems to do a great job here at Al-Maale Farm. And the next to come is then the chief sire of Al-Maale Stud, the sire of the small boys you have just seen, the sire of most of the fillies you have seen. And here he comes. Alami Al-Maale is the son of Tetua Ezain out of Umilali Ezain. You have seen the dam of this gorgeous stallion before among the Obeyan Omjeris. She is a daughter of N.K. Kaswara out of Azhar Ezain. A stallion with exotic look. Gorgeous type. He's doing an amazing job as a sire already, although he's still young. But what he has produced so far allows us to have big hopes on him. But he still looks good. Your team keeps in a good condition. He is very much asked by many breeders here in Kuwait. Fully booked during this breeding season. He has a lot to do. Still in good condition. several of his produce did very well now during our Breeders' Cup show. Several of his produce gained class wins or qualifications for the championships.
Okay. Okay.
A lovely stallion. He's the king in the stallion barn of Maale stud. And with this presentation of Maale, Alamir Maale, we will close this presentation. We hope that you have enjoyed it. It's also the end of our stud visit tour. It's the end of our program around the Breeders' Cup. We hope that you have enjoyed the stud visits as well as the show. And I think I can speak on behalf of all of you if I now express sincere thanks to Khaled Al-Enesi. We all wish him ongoing success with his breeding program. And we all hope to see you again at latest next year at the Kuwait National or International Arabian Horse Festival, Kuwait 2021. Thank you, Khaled Al-Enesi, for the wonderful stud presentation. Thank you all for coming, and have a safe